The driver sits far up front. The trash compartment is sealed tight behind them, wrapped in steel as thick as a vault. No windows. No dramatic external cameras like in action movies. So how do they know when that 10-ton stomach is full before the machine starts crushing itself from the inside? If you've ever thought they just drive until it feels right, I'm about to ruin that idea for you. Take a close look at the face of an experienced garbage truck driver. Tight framing. Light reflecting off the windshield. He isn't looking backward. He's listening. The dashboard in front of him shows warning lights. Pressure gauges. Numbers that climb whenever the hydraulic system engages. But here's the fascinating part. Most decisions don't come from the eyes. They come from the ears and from the seat. Yes, from the way the chair vibrates. Before we talk about that almost supernatural sense, you need to know there are at least 3 major species of garbage trucks out there. The rear loader, the classic one, where workers hang bags at the back and the compactor pushes waste inward. The side loader, a solitary machine with a robotic arm that lifts bins without anyone standing behind it. And then the front loader, the beast that swallows giant containers outside supermarkets and factories. Different shapes, different workflows, but they all share one silent brain, a pressure-sensing system. Every time the compactor slides forward, a hydraulic piston forces trash deeper into the body. When the chamber is mostly empty, resistance is low. The piston glides forward like a knife through butter. But as waste becomes dense, resistance rises. Hydraulic pressure climbs. Once it hits a standard threshold, often thousands of psi, the control panel sends a signal. A short beep. Sounds simple. Right. But that psi number is no joke. Around 500 pounds per square inches is comparable to placing a pickup truck's weight onto an area the size of a credit card. When the needle reaches the limit, the system says, "That's enough." Yet the story doesn't end with a beep. Veteran drivers rarely wait for the warning. They've memorized the machine's voice. When the load is full, the engine changes tone. The hydraulic whine becomes strained and longer. Like someone trying to blow air through a bent straw. The truck vibrates differently, not stronger, but deeper. You might laugh, but drivers feel that shift through the seat. A tiny change in rhythm. Over time, their bodies learn to read these signals, like a musician detecting a single off-key note in an orchestra. And if you're wondering what happens when they misjudge, that's where engineering steps in. The system includes safety valves. If pressure climbs too high, those valves release force to prevent damage. Still, nobody wants to rely on that. Every overload adds wear and tear. A new garbage truck can cost around $300. Roughly the price of several small suburban homes. You don't want to turn that into a casualty of bad judgment. What I love most is the blend of technology and instinct. On one side, you have electronic sensors, hydraulic valves, and strict engineering standards. On the other, years of experience gathered from thousands of routes. By the time the warning beep sounds, many drivers already know what's coming. When the engine changes pitch, they ease off the throttle, preparing for the final compression cycle. They never see the trash chamber, yet they can hear that steel stomach tightening. Put yourself in that position for a moment. You're driving through a quiet neighborhood. Kids heading to school. Adults rushing to work. Behind you, a mass of garbage grows heavier minute by minute. You can't open the rear door to check. You can't lean out like a dump truck driver. You trust sound, numbers, and the subtle vibrations traveling through the steering wheel and seat. It's a strange relationship between human and machine, not a glossy, touchscreen future, but pure mechanical understanding. Here's the aha moment I want you to keep. When you hear the truck hiss, then suddenly fall silent and head straight toward the transfer station. It isn't random. That's the moment driver and machine silently agree, we're full. A decision made not by sight, but by sound and sensation. Next time you see a garbage truck stop, compress one last load. Then close its tailgate. Remember that someone behind the wheel is holding a quiet conversation with steel and hydraulic oil. No words. No eye contact. Just tiny vibrations and a dry electronic beep, a perfect connection between human instinct and a brutally honest machine. And if you think that's already the climax, just wait until that truck accidentally eats something it shouldn't. Because when that happens, every sense suddenly goes into overdrive.